So the other day, my family and I made some grilled meat. My father grilled the meat, my mother made the sauce, and I made the guacamole. And so I thought about showing you how we make guacamole in Mexico, because guacamole is a very famous Mexican dish, but it has a lot of variation around the world. Like the guacamole they make, like for example, at a Taco Bell, it's gonna be very different, and that variation even exists in Mexico. Like if I go to a Mexican restaurant right now, the guacamole they have there is going to be very different because, well, homemade stuff is always very different. Here you can see my taco. Oh, it ended up being really nice. Oh yeah, it was delicious. Also, you can see me putting some lemon on my meat. I do that because I love lemon and I am very weird. Not all Mexicans do that, although I've met a few other people that do. And please forgive me the shaking camera. I was trying to record this with holding the camera with one hand while I try to make my taco with the other one. um, but anyway, so real Mexican guacamole. How do we do it? Let's begin. We begin with an avocado, or an aguacate, as we call them in Spanish. In some other places of Latin America, like Chile, they call them palta, but that just sounds like wrong to me. Like, we discovered it, we get to name it, and we name it aguacate. Anyway, so I'm gonna take a spoon. I'm just gonna take a spoon, and I'm just gonna scoop everything and put it in this plate. But of course, that's the easy part. The tricky part is always what to do with the half that ends up with the bone, right? Or with the seed. Well, there are many ways to deal with this. And I've seen that there are people that get hurt because apparently they try to stab the avocado or something. But okay, I'm gonna show you two different techniques to deal with this. One is you simply stab it a little bit on the side, and then you are a little more careful because it's gonna fall on the table. But one way or another, that's it. You've gotten rid of the bone, of the seed, and now you can just scoop the rest of the avocado. So that's one avocado down, another one to go. And we cut it in the same way, in the half, and then just until you feel the seed, and then you just cut around the seed, and then you open the two halves. And that's it. And now, well, this is the super simple technique that you can do to deal with the bone. You just scoop the whole thing. At that point, Fer didn't know how to react. Usually the seed of the aguacate came right off, with not much aguacate stuck to it, but now it was different. He was recording, and he had just said it was simple. But there was no other aguacate. He couldn't do it again. He couldn't start the recording over again. He just had to keep going and try to pretend everything was fine. And yeah, I mean, it was like, it's just aguacate. You just, like, whatever. It's not like it's ruined or anything. Take all the avocado from the seed. Yeah, it can be a little messy, but it's not a big deal. We just scoop the rest right out. So now that we have scooped the avocado, we are just going to take like a fork and then just break it all down. This is gonna take a while. At this point, it's a good idea to add some salt. And then we continue to just mix everything together. Then I'm just gonna add some tomato. This is around half a tomato, although I think I'm gonna need a little bit more. Perhaps I'm gonna cut the other half. Here we have the onions. I also chopped previously. This is around, I don't know, a quarter of an onion. And then I have a bit more onion here. So it's about half an onion. And then we are gonna just mix all the tomato and the onions with the avocado. Well, at this point we need to add the most important ingredient, lemons. And here I have to tell you something, like in Mexico we call these lemons, although in other countries apparently they call them limes, and they only can lemons, the yellow ones. But names aside, these things, they are green and they are very sour and they go great with many things, but they are like a key ingredient in guacamole. Now, a good rule of thumb is to add 3 lemons for each 2 avocados, although you can add more if you want to make it a little bit more sour, or, well, I wouldn't recommend you to add less, because at that point you're just missing the point of guacamole entirely, in my opinion. It's like make a quesadilla without cheese, to make a guacamole with little lemon. And now that we have added the lemon, we just are gonna continue to mix everything together. And eventually what's gonna happen is that all the lemon juice is gonna get like, I don't know how to explain it, soaked up by the guacamole. So yeah, it shouldn't be very, it shouldn't end up as a fluid at all. Now, many people like to eat guacamole with chips, and that's perfectly fine. I like that too. But if you want my recommendation, you can do some meat. For example, you can just take some steaks and grill them or something, and then you can add some guacamole on the meat. That's mostly why we use it for, honestly, not for chips. Although you just want to use it for chips, that's fine. Not judging here. And yeah, even if you can ask some pepper if you want. Although, yeah, I mean, this is it. This is guacamole, like normal people in Mexico do it. But well, anyway, so that's guacamole. Another reason why lemons are an essential ingredient in guacamole is because if you don't add lemon, this guacamole, after a couple of minutes, it's gonna start becoming brown. For example, if you cut an apple and you just leave the 2 halves open in the air like that, after a couple of minutes it's gonna start turning brown, right? So something similar happens to aguacates and to guacamole, but the lemon stops that process and keeps your guacamole green and fresh for way longer. So yeah, it's not just because of the flavor. It's also really important to keep everything fresh and nice. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that, and here I'm gonna leave you some recording of me making a third taco, this time with a flour tortilla. And this sauce, actually my mom and I made it together and it was really nice. If you want to see how that's done, please leave me some comments in the comments. And yeah, well, if you make some grilled meat, make some guacamole and enjoy. In this case, this tortilla was a little bit burned, so yeah, forgive me if this taco looks a little bit messy, but trust me, it still tasted amazing.